Welcome at Pizza and More. Today it's a fantastic weather. We will have barbecue, we need some rolls, and I make rolls. I'm Jürgen and I show you now how to create and how to make the dough for fantastic rolls, which we will have tonight for dinner when we have a barbecue. And we will also bake our rolls on the grill and not in the kitchen oven. The ingredients we need are 250 grams of flour. I have here flour type 0. Then we need 0.7 grams of dry yeast. If you want to use fresh yeast, then you have to use 2 grams. Then we have here 5 grams of olive oil. I have here 5 grams of fine sea salt. I have here 25 grams of Lievito Madre. How you can create your own Lievito Madre will be shown in a later video. If you have right now no Lievito Madre or no sourdough dough, then please leave it out. Take 1 gram of dry yeast more, so 1.7 grams of dry yeast. And don't use 5 grams of sea salt, only use 4 grams in sea salt in case you have no Lievito Madre. And last but not least, excuse me, we have here 5 grams of honey. Yeah, and what I forgot is our water. We have here very cold water, 175 grams. The first we add now into our mixer is our cold water. If you want to use fresh yeast, then please add now the fresh yeast and dissolve the fresh yeast in the water. The next what we add is our Lievito Madre, if you have some Lievito Madre, and then also the Lievito Madre needs to be dissolved a little bit in the water. We can do this either with a tool or directly with the mixer. It's not necessary that it's totally mixed up. It's absolutely enough when it's a little bit dissolved. The next what we add is flour. And in case of dry yeast, now the dry yeast. We add our honey. And our olive oil. And then we start the mixer at the lowest level and we let it mix for around 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes we add the sea salt. Now after 5 minutes everything is good mixed up, and now I add the sea salt, and then I increase as well the speed of the machine, and we knead in total for around 20 minutes until the window test works. Now I think the dough is ready kneaded, and I will make the window test. For the window test it's the easiest to cover your hands with water or with olive oil or flour even, and then you take out of the bowl a piece of dough. You shape a ball in your hands and then you try to stretch it. And if you are able to stretch it, so that it's very thin, then we are done and the dough is ready kneaded and we can take it out of the bowl. So here is now the dough in front of me on the counter, and we make now the so-called stretch and fold. Therefore, we take the dough from the left and from the right, put it back onto our counter and then do the so-called stretch and fold. Here you stretch it and we fold it over. And we do this several times. And after we did this, sometimes you will see the dough stops absolutely sticking. And it's relatively easy. And here we can form a ball. If the dough sticks a bit in your hands, you can use some olive oil. Cover your hands with olive oil and go on top of the dough ball with the olive oil, and then do the same exercise, the stretch and fold again several times. And then we can also roll this ball on our counter, and we can shape here a fantastic form. And you see the surface gets a very nice structure and it's very strong. We can pull it with our little fingers, don't roll it, pull it, turn it several times. And here you can see how strong and how nice the surface is. And then we place our dough ball in a box. In this box we let rest the dough for around 4 hours at room temperature. One very important thing we have now to do is we have to cover our dough with a lid or with a foil or whatever you have to wrap it. It's important, otherwise the dough would get dry, and this is what we want to avoid with closing it. We let the dough raise now for around 4 hours at room temperature, and after this time we make our dough balls. Some hours are over and now it's time to form the balls. Here is now our dough. We take the dough now out onto our counter. It's the easiest if you have some flour on your counter, and then put the dough out. It's the easiest now to cover your fingers a bit with flour, because then the dough is not that sticky at your fingers. And I make now portions of 110-115 grams. If you want to have a bigger rolls, then use a bit more dough. If you want to have smaller ones, then reduce the amount of dough for each ball. And this is what we do. I think it is enough for 4 balls. All the 4 portions of dough are created. To shape the balls, we have here at the counter some flour, and then we fold the sticky part always to the center, and then we turn them around, because now we have here already a nice surface. We remove the flour because here it's still sticky, and then it's possible to shape here nice balls with the hand when we do this rolling. Otherwise, if there would be too much flour already on the counter, then it would not be possible to shape nice balls. And this is what we do now for all 4. And now if we have all 4 shaped like a ball, then we can take them directly as they are, place them in the box, or what I do, I form them a bit into the length. For this I use my fingertips, cover these fingertips a bit with flour, and then I go only under and I press the fingers under, and then you see there is a bit of nice structure on top, and they are getting a bit longer. And then I place them in the box, and I do this with all the 4. And here are now all 4 dough rolls in my box. And what we have to do right now is we take the lid of our box and we close the box, and we let the dough rest at room temperature now for additional 4 or 5 hours until we need them, until we go for barbecue. On my grill I have a pizza stone, and I preheat the pizza stone so that the pizza stone is already hot before we put our rolls onto the stone. It's important not to make the fire or the lightning directly under the stone, otherwise the stone would get too hot and the rolls would burn directly. So please have the fire only at the left or at the right, so next to the stone but not directly under the stone. The long baking is now at its end, and the dough is ready prepared. The dough has enough leavening time. The barbecue is preheated, the stone is hot, the charcoal burns, everything is fantastic, and now it's time to go outside on the terrace where the barbecue is. The easiest to remove them out of the box is to use some semolina. Put the semolina on top of the dough ball and then take them out. Try to keep all the air inside of the dough ball. If it sticks, use a bit more semolina. And then take it out into your hand. And then place them directly on the stone and close the cover to keep the temperature inside, and then do the same with the next. We always have to double check the color from the bottom, and if we think it's time to turn them, then simply flip them around and bake them from the other side as well. And here you can see this is some old semolina. This can be removed, otherwise it's bitter. And then close again the lid. And if it's from both sides colored enough, then we place them on the upper part to finalize cooking, and then we can do exactly the same with some other balls. And that's the end result. I'm back in the kitchen. Here are the buns. I think they are looking absolutely fantastic and they are smelling so nice. I already put one from each other, and it's in the center, absolutely soft. Around it is crispy, it's really fantastic, and now I want to taste one. And it really tastes like I want some buns or rolls for barbecue. My guests are also waiting already because they saw how I made it. And I really have to say, please try it, make them. If you have guests, they will be surprised if you make your bread yourself. It's absolutely fantastic and really delicious. I wish you some fun with also baking these rolls. And yeah, what should I say? Thanks for watching. If you like my video, I would be absolutely happy if you would subscribe my channel. And then I have to say bye until the next video. Ciao.